YouTube. This is Too Raw for TV. I just saw some reports. All right, you can check them out for yourself if you just go online. Just saw some reports that said that, according to sources from Capitol Hill, at some point this month, Joe Biden confirmed to former President Barack Obama that he will indeed run for re-election in 2024. This is something that had not been quite confirmed, but something that had been suspected as of late due to the comments that he has made during certain Q&A sessions with the media. But it has been speculated that perhaps Joe Biden, at his advanced age, would not run for re-election. But all indications are that he will run for re-election in 2024. And the biggest problem for Joe Biden, in my opinion, immediately is his advanced age. He was 78 when he was elected president back in 2020, far and away the oldest man ever elected president. The prior oldest being Donald Trump, his immediate predecessor, who was 70 when elected. Right now, Joe Biden is 79. He turns 80 next year. The end of this year, he turns 80. And by the time he would run for re-election, he would be 81 and 82 on inauguration day, January 20th, 2045. So he would be far and away our oldest president. And when you couple that with the position of weakness that he's in right now, it looks like it's impossible for him to win re-election. His approval ratings are generally in the 30s, disapproval's in the mid to high 50s. Inflation is roaring its ugly head for the first time in some 40 years. Ugliness overseas. Violence has gripped the nation. Mass shootings. Uh, a general sense of anarchy in a lot of ways. General sense of uneasiness about the future. But I do want to caution people, about making predictions about elections too far in advance. Now, I do feel that the Republicans are going to make gains in the midterms. It's too close to that time period. The Democratic Party as a whole is too uh, maligned. That's a good term, I guess. Republicans, they're much more motivated to come out and vote in this election cycle. They're going to make gains. The question is how much. I do believe they're going to lose both the House and the Senate. Definitely the Senate, most likely the House too. It's just a question of how many seats. 2024, the presidential election, is too far out in advance. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. Even though the environment is a lot more partisan now, there's a lot more political divide. I remember reading about how during the 1982 midterms, at that time, Ronald Reagan, his approval rating was only 35%. The economy was terrible. It looked like he was going to be a repeat of Jimmy Carter. Whatever rosy sympathy / optimism Reagan got after he got shot, that was long gone. In December of 83, it looked like Reagan was going to be a one-term president. December of 82. It looked like he was going to be a one-term president. Starting in 1983, the economy began to turn, and that will be the beginning of what would be a 17-year nonstop economic growth, the longest in the history of this country, that would start from 1983 to 2000. And by 1983, the economy was roaring. Other things were going on in this country that elicited pride. And Reagan went on to win by one of the greatest landslides in American history. So what I'm saying is, um, it's too early. You don't know what's going to happen. The economy, which is really fucked up right now, could make a turn for the better for the Democrats. Um, the situation overseas can come to a peaceful, a relatively peaceful conclusion. Another thing that I think could be a mistake, this is just my opinion, the Republicans, I see Steve Bannon was talking about this. Republicans, in their zeal, right, might try to impeach Biden. And that might be a mistake, even though I think there are legitimate reasons for that. In the public's eye, for the most part, even amongst his supporters, blah 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 blah, the impeachments of Donald Trump seemed at least legally justified, and most Americans at least understood why he was being impeached, even if you didn't agree with the proceedings going on. With Joe Biden, it might seem forced, like revenge. And you also have to remember that the mainstream media, as we all know, is 90% liberal, and they do a very good job of painting the Republicans as extremists, vengeful, and that could turn against the Republicans. Some segment of the population, independent voters, whatever gains they've been making with them, could reverse, and you just never know. It could be a mistake. It was a mistake back in 1998, 1999, when Republicans impeached Clinton. You know, the process of them impeaching Clinton actually made people more sympathetic toward Clinton and thought the Republicans were being hypocritical. And another thing is this too: President Trump, former President Trump, has been benefiting off the fact that he's been out of the limelight. In my opinion, him being out of the limelight is making some people forget why they didn't like him. Because remember, a lot of us had Trump fatigue syndrome. We got tired of this guy. Him running for president again, those who did not like him, and maybe some people whose feelings have softened a little bit toward him, a little bit, will be quickly reminded why they don't like him. And let's not forget, it's not 100% certainty that Trump is going to get the nomination anyway. Because I think, and shout out to the brother LB because he was right on this because he told me about this and I've been reading about it and it's true. Ron DeSantis may be a viable alternative to Trump. He's younger. He's a more skilled politician. He can definitely siphon the Trump support, but be able to aim it at a more mainstream audience. And he's from a state, Florida, that has 30 electoral college votes, which makes it the third largest state in the country as far as electoral rich states behind California and Texas. And he can run with a candidate, running mate, uh, preferably, if I were him, I would run with somebody from the Midwest, maybe somebody from one of those swing states. Uh, that's to be determined. So that you can make a formidable ticket that can beat Joe Biden because this country is so polarized at this point. All it takes is a couple of states here or there to swing an election. The Republicans are going to get at least 47% of the vote. We know this. They've been getting that for years. And look, give you an example I'm talking about. In 2000, Bush won, winning 48%. And he got reelected with 51%. In 2008, even though John McCain was going up against the phenomenon that was Barack Obama, He got almost 46% of the vote. Mitt Romney got 47% in 2012 when he ran against Obama. Trump in 2016 got 46%. In the last election, he had 47%. So they're going to get at least 46 to 47% of the vote. All it takes is having a strategic plan at winning a majority electoral college. The popular vote doesn't matter. So anyway, I know I went a little bit into too much detail about the election and stuff like that, but Joe Biden is going to run for re-election. Tell me what you guys think about that.